Okay, I gotta go back to the under 30 crowd here because this is gonna mess with you. Back in the 80s, all the way back in the 80s, a group of people got together and they said, okay, well, we're gonna take those songs you hear on the radio. The radio was Pandora before the internet. And they said, we're gonna take these songs you hear on the radio and we're gonna make little movies out of them. And we're gonna call them videos. And they're going to be roughly 3 minutes in length. And we're actually going to create a television network to show these little videos. And we're going to call that MTV, or music television. Now, I know that's the weirdest thing in the world to you, because for as long as you've been alive, MTV has been a reality channel. But I swear to you, back in the 80s, we ran home from school every damn day to see the latest Madonna video. Imagine, like, Lady Gaga with a lot more kids. Or like Duran, D-U-R-A-N, and then, yeah. And we ran home every day to see this. And senators, anyone remember the 80s when the senators were holding hearings about the dumbing down of America because our attention span was down to 3 minutes? Oh my God, 3 whole minutes, we're going to lose the Japanese. You know what the average attention span is today?
15 seconds.
40 seconds, 30 seconds? 140 characters, yeah, or roughly 2.7 seconds. Now here's the question. What is 140 characters? A tweet? You're all wrong. Thank you. 140 characters is a text message. I'm going to go off on a little rant here for a second. Twitter is a product. Text messaging is a revolution. Until Twitter makes $1, they are pets.com waiting to happen.
Amen!
I don't know if you remember Pets.com, but they had a little sock puppet. Hello? They spent $75 million goddamn dollars promoting that sock puppet back in the .com day until they went bankrupt. Guys, I saw the sock puppet about 1.5 years ago. He was on 22nd Street and 11th Avenue. For $20, he could have done whatever I asked. Twitter makes $1. They are pets.com waiting to happen. As a country, as a society, we get text messaging. We get text messaging. My rule, by the way, is if I can see who someone is, I can answer. As a society, we get text messaging. We understand text messaging in this country because of 2 things: 9/11 and American Idol. That is what explained to us that phones are not just for calls. On September 11, 2001, I was third for takeoff on the runway at Newark Airport on a United flight heading to the West Coast when the first tower was hit. All my parents knew is that their only child was on a United flight heading to the West Coast around that time. And that's all they knew for an hour and a half because I couldn't reach them even with their cell phones. I was finally able to send a text message to my father's phone that read, "Not my plane." And that's my parents knew I was alive. They had never received or sent a text message before. I was praying that my dad would understand that the envelope was not the same thing as the earpiece and that it wasn't a voicemail. I was hoping that he'd figure out how to do it, and he did. That was the first time they'd ever sent or received a text. They'd never had one before. They'd never sent it or received. I can't get either of them to stop sending text messages. Now, my parents are both on Blackberries now, and they went to Mexico a couple weeks ago, or a month ago, and they went for about a week, and it was like I was there. Every 5 minutes, I'd get a little Blackberry photo on Blackberry Messenger. It's a Mexican dog, it's a Mexican tree, it's a Mexican church, it's a Mexican tree. I was there. But here's the thing, my parents get texting, and they do it all the time. And keep in mind, this is my mother, I respect her, I love you, Mom, but my mother texted up with my dad. My mother this is the woman who used to send me an email back when email first started. She sent me an email and then she would call me to see if I got the email. Which is like me going to your house to see if you got the FedEx. But they get it. They get texting. They understand it. They use it. But they don't get Twitter. They don't see the point. And my dad, taking a step further, it's even worse for my dad. He doesn't understand that Twitter is different than texting. So he follows me on Twitter, but he will reply to a tweet just like he's sending me a text. So if you read his stream, I'm the only one who follows. It makes no sense. Yes, with your mother, at dinner, tomorrow, a pair of pants, Google, what the hell? Until Twitter starts making money, don't rely on them. All I will say about Twitter, embrace the concept, not the brand. Okay? For everything you do, embrace the concept, not the brand. The concept is mobile messaging, it's short messages, it's short burst texting, short burst videos. We get that. Twitter, as of now, is just a hype. Embrace the concept, not the brand. Going back to brevity, again, ironically enough, you will appreciate this. Brevity, if we have 2.7 seconds to reach our audience, and we have never had a shorter amount of time to reach our audience before, we get asked for our information, we get asked for our attention about 16,000 times a day. 16,000 times a day, something or someone wants our attention. It's amazing, and it's getting worse. How do you reach an audience that is so fractured? How do you reach an audience that only gives you 2.7 seconds, less than a paragraph? Especially since surveys have shown that 90% of all first-time communication with first-time potential audiences, employers, salespeople, buyers, customers, 90% of all potential communication over the next 10 years is going to come via the written word. And that's the case, and you only have 2.7 seconds. How do you reach an audience that is so short-centered, and so short attention span? Learn to write. The good writers will win at social media. The good writers will be the ones who buy it. At the end of the day, the people who don't know how to write are the ones who are going to simply go away. Bad writing is hurting America. Stop hurting America. I beg of you. Learn to write. Everyone who works for any company that I run can take a writing class anywhere they want, anytime they want, about anything having to do with writing. Anything that helps to make them a better writer, they can do, and I will pay for it. That has been the way since I started my company. That will always be the way. If you work for me, you can take a writing class. 3 months ago, I got a resume and a cover letter from a woman who graduated from Harvard. And the resume was stellar. She had 3 internships, everything. It was awesome. The cover letter was good, and I was in a great career. I was going to hire her. The last line of the resume said, again, I just want to reiterate, SAT word there, I'm like, awesome. I just want to reiterate how much I would enjoy the opportunity to work for you. To work for you. Yeah, that was about the reaction I had. And I sat there and I looked at her about 20 minutes, just sort of shaking my head. And I was going to ignore it. Then I decided to send her an email back. And I wrote, dear applicant, I wrote her name, I won't tell you her name. She'll never get a job. I said, thanks for your resume. I said, unfortunately, you won't be working for me. But you could be working for McD's if you don't learn to write. LOLs. Bad writing is hurting America. Learn to write, and you will reach your audience more and more and more quickly than any other medium out there. If you learn to write, your audience will pay attention. That's brevity, and quite frankly, brevity is good. Here's the interesting thing: brevity is good writing. Good writing is social media. When we're getting thousands of tweets every day, if we're good writers to begin with, we immediately ignore the ones that suck. We automatically, our brain subconsciously goes to the ones that are written well, goes to the ones that we want to see, and ignores the other ones. If there are too many periods, or dots, or ellipses, or commas, or up and down punctuation, we ignore those. We go for the ones, our brain automatically goes to the ones that we can read. Automatically. Learn how to write. Good writing is brevity, brevity is social media. The fourth point is the final point.